Switching to the shutdown channel. Ready for the major shutdown. Copy that.
I don't know if you can hear it through the mic, but there is this unprecedented silence, both in terms of its duration and its meaning.
Much of this work has been done for the first time in history, and not only in the history of the plant, but also in the history of Russia.
This isn't just a shutdown, this is a mega shutdown.
Sakhalin 2 project Far East. The team of Sakhalin Energy will have to stop gas production completely for 35 days. Everywhere from Lune platform in the north of the island to the LNG plant in the south. But why?
This is not some kind of emergency response. Everything goes as planned.
Our equipment has worked efficiently for many years. It is time we replaced its old parts with new ones, so that it serves us as efficiently and reliably in the next 2, 3, 5 or 10 years.
Of course we are all nervous, but what kind of nervousness is it? Professional. We're not afraid. Being afraid is one thing, being nervous is another.
In order to shut down so much equipment in such a short time, we needed to plan everything in advance to ensure that materials are supplied and people are transported and trained so that they can work here safely.
Sakhalin is a remote area. Everything is shipped here either by sea or by air.
It took 2 years of planning to get everything done in 35 days.
Shutdown and overhaul planning teams assess the work scopes, which are then used to create activity-based network schedules.
Everything indeed went as planned until...
В Китае уже почти 30 человек оказались в больницах с вирусом, который пока ставит врачи. Больше 90 тысяч человек заболевших коронавирусом.
We have faced situations where we did everything in our power to ensure that visas are issued to the employees we needed, but they didn't come. At the last minute, at some kind of family council, they decided not to come because it's too much of a risk.
However, surprisingly, COVID has brought some positive moments as well. Many Russian specialists were hired to work at the major shutdown.
I must say our specialists are very competitive, very established, and it's not a secret that they are being constantly headhunted.
I'm amazed at how flexible Russian contractors are. Do we need more people? Do we need them to stay longer and do some more work? Not a single person said no. This is our advantage. It allows us to work fast, effectively, and flexibly.
People's competences, along with the planning, are very, very high quality here at the asset.
The work began at 5 assets of the Sakhalin 2 project gas chain at once. At first, 2 production trains at the LNG plant were stopped. It seemed like everything had been considered, but the weather interfered. For the first time in 10 years, the island was hit with a heat wave, critically high temperatures, smog from wildfires.
Now, imagine putting on your clothes, your protective equipment, a helmet, glasses and a mask to boot because of COVID, and sitting in the sun grinding a flange, let's say.
But even in the heat, the work must not stop, neither in the daytime nor at night, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Day shift is over. Second shift is coming in.
What is the night shift? Picture the Northern Fleet. Among all those ships, there is a nuclear submarine that must set out first and go from point A to point B in 12 hours, thus preparing the set-out for the rest. Well, the night shift is our nuclear submarine. It is there to ensure that the whole team can come to work the next day.
Imagine what massive work must be done in order for 1,800 people to work simultaneously. More than 1,300 work permits alone were issued.
It was a great challenge to bring these people to the asset, provide them with food and lodging, pass them through the checkpoint without delay, one shift out, another in, and to do that in such a way that they don't complain, don't stand in lines. Day after day, we can see the happy, content faces of our employees. Tired, but content.
Coronavirus has motivated us for something positive too. For example, it gave the company momentum to develop telecommunications.
Our colleagues made a truly revolutionary move when they started to recruit contractors remotely, using televideo equipment. We bought and developed special helmets. This is a unique, innovative device that enables acquiring necessary competencies in real time from almost all over the world.
Digitalization accelerated many processes and helped meet the deadlines. However, more time was needed to ensure safety.
If we are not sure, we don't move ahead. Any specialist in any team can say, guys, let's stop. We're not moving on because I have doubt.
During such a shutdown, it's impossible for everything to go exactly as planned. Whatever smart tools we have, we don't have an X-ray machine to look inside the compressor.
It's impossible to get into a vessel while it's under pressure. It first needs to be stopped, depressurized and emptied.
That's why some things get discovered when we open the equipment. Of course, we plan those things, but they come in different combinations.
In Shutdown, there is a notion of critical operations that determine the duration of the shutdown. This is the 1440 compressor, the largest compressor in Europe. That's why it's a unique plant, because there are a lot of unique things about it, things designed especially for us, things that only we have. We are the first to make the 1430 compressor, to modify the 1420 compressor.
One of the biggest projects of this shutdown is ProSave Upgrade.
The production process automation system at the LNG plant is one of the most complex in the oil and gas industry.
We did our best to prepare. Factory acceptance tests were done in Singapore. All these cabinets were interconnected, as if in a real plant. It was a real work simulation. The cabinets have worked for half a year in current mode. Now it needs to be mounted correctly.
Now imagine what level of competencies must these specialists have to be able to tackle these difficult tasks offshore.
Lune platform is getting ready for shutdown.
Some of the most complex technical work was done at the Lune gas production platform that was shut down as well.
While on shore we can always go to the well and fix something, here at sea we can't always do that. When the platform is shut down and the production unit is overhauled, drilling must be stopped and the people involved in drilling removed.
We also staff our ships with additional people. We organize their transportation to the platform and back.
We are protected from the pipelines by main shut-off valves, one of which is being repaired this year. We're also repairing the high-integrity pressure protection system. Along with checking the condition of our equipment, we are also checking the condition of our system. We shut down the asset by pressing the emergency shutdown button.
The team of Sakhalin Energy has also carried out a unique operation to replace the flare tip.
Please note that the flare tip is situated at the 127-meter altitude. You need to get close to the very tip that sits on top of the flare. And in order to do that, the flare is sequentially disassembled, with each part taken off and the flare getting shorter and shorter until our goal, the flare tip, can be reached. Because the weight of the section itself is around 10 tons, the furnishing system is complicated. We have been preparing this for 3 years. We had learned how to do it on paper, but when we were actually doing it, we faced some nuances.
These operations, complex in every way, were entrusted to young specialists.
What are they good for? He can't even raise his voice. What kind of a manager is he? But these people are the ones carrying out the shutdown. They're driving it by new rules. They're energizing the team and doing everything safely and pretty effectively and competently.
During the major shutdown, the flare tips were replaced, not only at the LNG plant, but also at the onshore processing facility.
This was the first time we had extinguished the flare. This was the first time we had shut down absolutely all the equipment we have.
Since the flare tip is 76 meters tall, trainings were approved and organized to ensure that if immediate evacuation of an employee from this height is needed, there'll be no difficulty and confusion as to what to do next.
The word unique is used constantly at this project, but of all the unique operations, arm replacement was the culmination. This equipment was originally installed by a Japanese company and is now replaced by Russian specialists.
This is a very critical and hazardous job, and it was carried out for the first time at this asset, and even in Russia. That's why we prepared meticulously. First of all, we needed to make sure that the equipment manufacturer would produce arms that would work with our equipment. To do this, we sent our employees to the manufacturer's factory. We ran a factory acceptance test in Japan. There was a prototype of the arm. It was moved to make sure it would operate at our asset.
But installing an arm is a challenge in its own right. This operation was carried out from the vessel Pilgrat, equipped with 2 main cranes with a lifting capacity up to 700 tons each.
This, without a doubt, is a complicated logistical operation, since firstly, this is large capacity equipment, and secondly, we have to account for such factors as weather and working conditions at the LNG jetty because it is situated in the open sea. The work of lifting equipment depends on many factors as well, and the professionalism of the team plays a key role here.
We can draw a line. Everything offshore is foreign, whereas at the jetty there are Russian specialists only. So we have a balance here, and we are pondering how to use Russian factories and develop our expertise in the area.
The major shutdown is over. The first gas offloading and its shipping to the consumers is the result of the right actions of each specialist, as well as the whole team. But what does this event mean at the global scale? For the people, the industry, the country?
The upgrade will ensure more reliable production in the future. The company will make more profit since there won't be unscheduled shutdowns.
I told you how the company's competencies were developing, but along with them, competencies and experience of Russian contractors as well.
Combination of practices, requirements and methods that we use in Russia and that our foreign partners use, interweaving of all these practices is perhaps what forms our unique experience.